Hello, my name is Destiny Hodges, and this is my life investment strategy for Principles of Investment with Dr. Phillips. So, my emotional history is actually very complex. I've had really, really good moments with things concerning money, and I've had really, really low moments with things concerning money. But the first emotion or the first action that I remember um, dealing with money is actually my parents arguing about bills because of the fact that they simply did not have the money. And it was frustrating on my mom, frustrating on my dad. And so they would argue. The root of it will be about money, but the surface of it will be about like life. Like a lot of back and forth, a lot of confusion, a lot of things. So the emotion that it produced from that was distress. And the effect that I had was always feeling like I had to overwork to get what I truly needed in life, and then also get what I truly want in life. And it was really an unhealthy effect that I had because my parents were arguing over money. We never lacked anything, but it was more mental than it was physical. Yeah. But the next emotional history that I had was actually empowering because I opened up my first business when I was in the fourth grade, and it was making little hair bows. Like I made little hair bows when I was in the fourth grade, and it actually was inspired by one of my teachers who pushed entrepreneurship to us. And some students came in baking cookies. Some students came in making like video games or like selling like their video games or something along those lines. But I decided to create hair bows, and not only like was creating those hair bows an extra source of income for me, but it was also like empowering to see others wearing the product that I created. So the emotion again was empowered, and the effect was like I actually was able to put myself in a position of seeing an entrepreneur in me at a young age. And so it just allowed me to be creative because I'm also a very creative person. It allowed me to be creative. It allowed me to see the joy on other people's faces when they like wore my products. I guess like family and friends, just understanding that they really was in support of me opening up my own business and starting that in the fourth grade. It was just a beautiful experience. Yeah. And so the last emotional history I remember, not the last, but the last one that I have on here from the report is my uncle. And he's actually my great uncle, my mom's uncle. And he really showed me that money is not just about yourself. Money is not to be spent just on yourself and the things that you enjoy, but it's also to be spent on giving, and it's also to be spent on pouring into other people. I just remember like my uncle, he was a baller. I'm not gonna lie. Like he drove, still drives. But back in the day, he had like three, four cars at a time. Now he only has one like really nice car. But he drove really, really nice cars. He drove sports cars, convertibles, all the things. Even like the classics. Like he had classics, very, very classic cars, Cadillacs, all the things. And I just remember him driving nice cars, taking care. My mom would tell me stories about how she would let he would let him, he would let her drive his Porsche, and he would drive one of the other nice cars, and he would just take care of like those who are around him. He would take care of his wife. He would take care of his children. He would take care of his nieces and nephews. Just always there, bailing people out, giving people like just giving, not just giving money, but like just pouring into people. But the thing that stood out to me the most was honestly when he would carry me and my sister, and he would take us to go feed the homeless. We would go to either KFC or Popeyes or something just very quick, where he would get a chicken box meal with like mashed potatoes and green beans, and then the biscuit on the side. He would get that and just get hundreds of it at a time. Like literally, he would get hundreds. He would have his pickup truck with a table on the back of the pickup truck. Table on the back, there's food, and then he would also make like these little care packages with like blankets, and he would make he would have toothbrushes and toothpaste. He would have soap, a washcloth. Sometimes he would throw in like a towel. Sometimes he would throw in like little motivational speeches. Like he would just create care packages for them. So not only was he giving them food, but he was also giving them something to like sustain. And I'm from Atlanta. We all live in Atlanta. Well, most of us live in Atlanta. For my family, and we will literally go downtown, because if you want to find the homeless downtown is bad. And so it's, even with him carrying like hundreds of food boxes to downtown, there was never enough to feed how many people was actually down there. And it was very, at some point it gets very like emotionally overwhelming, emotionally taxing, that like you can never do enough. But I think from his life, he showed me like one step at a time. It's important to know that like you're making a difference one step at a time, one box at a time, one person at a time. And so from that experience, like it really made me to feel free. Like I feel like from him showing me that money is not just about yourself, but it's about giving back and pouring. I feel like there's a sense of freedom that comes with that. So yeah, that's a snippet of my emotional history report. Okay, so my portfolio set up. I desire to be a project manager, specifically within ministry. And so from the reference that's below, right at the bottom right, this reference here, as a project manager, my salary would be $100,000 per year, which is about $48 an hour. My gross biweekly pay, so before taxes, would be about $4,000, and then after taxes, it would be about $3,000. And as far as my budget, I did the 75, 15, 10, which means I will spend $75. Not 75. I would spend 75%, which is about $2,000 in spending. 15% will be in investing, which was around $400, and then 10% will be in saving. And to be honest, I would rather save more than I spend, because I do plan on living below my means. I'm not interested in like well, you're gonna see in the next slide my vision board, but I'm not interested in like a huge house, but I do like specific. I do have a specific preference. But I'm not interested in like all the fancy and yeah, I'm not interested in all that. So I do plan on living below my means. So I would rather save more than about $300. I know on here it says 300, but in my mind, like I would put an extra 250 onto that. Yeah. Okay, so here's my vision board. Right here at the top is an island in Dubai. It's called the Palm Jumeirah. Excuse me if I'm mispronouncing that, but the Palm Jumeirah Island. And so I love water. So be surrounded by water. That would be my life. Like, yeah, I love water. So this trip is around $5,000. And then right below this is my very first devotional that I have written, published, and actually been giving out. It's called I Gave My Life to Jesus, Now What, which is a 9-day devotional about your identity in Christ, what the Lord has called you to do, what the Lord has called you to inherit, and who the Lord has called you to be. And so this devotional, with the stock image, with the design, with getting it printed out, I believe I got about 30, either 30 or 50 copies printed out. But the front of it was glossy, like it was very, I'm not gonna lie, it was very glorious. The front of it was glossy, and then the inside was like the stock cardboard paper on the inside. So it was very good, a good quality book. That cost me around, with all of that, that cost me around $3,000. But I plan to, maybe not all of them would be that glorious. Actually, yes, it will be. It will be. But I gave a budget of $1,000 because I plan on writing more devotionals, writing more books. And this book was very short. This book was very short. It was only about 16 pages. Yeah, it was only about 16 pages. So it's not a costly book. So I gave myself a budget around $1,000 for devotionals and books that I'll be writing like within my life. And speaking of devotional, actually I'll get to that. Right below it is a family. Like I really desire a big family, and I desire a lot of kids. So right here is like a family of 14. And with that family of 14, simply to live comfortably, I need to be making, or not even making, I need to have a budget of $1 million a year, which is about $84,000 a month for my family, to live comfortably, to be able to travel, do activities, and make sure like the kids have, money set aside for their school activities, for trips, for all the things, and then also like family vacations. Being able, I'm not sure if I'm gonna stay in Atlanta, so being able like to travel home for holidays with me and my family, and even like my husband's family, like whatever the case may be, like just money for us to be able to live comfortably and enjoy life, and for them to create like for us to create a good childhood, like for my kids and all the things. So yeah, and then next to this, is me and my parents. So for me and my parents, they sacrificed a lot. They went through a lot. They really are the most loving. I'm not even gonna lie. They're the most loving people that I know. They're the most caring and encouraging people. I've never like been put down by my parents. Of course, discipline and all the things, but like they're the most encouraging. They've always promoted me to go live life. And they've always supported that in the best way they knew how, whether it was through love or encouragement or kindness, or whether it was through like a financial blessing or whatever it was. Like, and even the financial blessing, I know most times, 9 times out of 10, they didn't have it to give, but then they yet and still they gave it anyway. So I gave my parents a budget of $20,000 a month, and in that budget of $20,000 a month, I want to be able to take care of all of their bills, and I want them to be able to live comfortably, be able to go on vacation and travel, and honestly, I want them to be able to live, like, pursue their own dreams without worrying about paying bills. I want that to be put onto me so that they can do whatever they want to do, and whatever money that they have, or will be making from like the dreams, that they can go and spend that on a movie, or not even a movie. Like they can go spend that on a trip. Like save that so that you can like enjoy life. Like that's what I really do desire to do with me and my parents. Okay, so up here is elephant riding in Thailand. I really want to go to Thailand, and that trip is about $2,000. Yeah, I love Thai food. I love the Thai. I love culture, like any culture. I'm open to learning and all the things. But Thailand, $2,000. And then here's like a stock image of me and my best friend. I put $5,000 for this because I want to make a tradition where me and my best friend just go and we have a nice vacation getaway like every year. Just get away every year, enjoy each other's company, enjoy each other's time, and just live life. Like let's just do life big, you know. So I put $1,000 a year, $5,000 a year. As far as a cruise, I believe like me, my immediate family is I have a family of 4: me, my mom, my sister, and my dad. To take a very, very nice cruise, $3,000. I think that's doable. $3,000 for a family of 4. And then I would also love to ride a camel in Egypt. So I put an Egypt trip for $3,000. I said $3,000 to go to Egypt and ride camels and just enjoy that environment. And then right above the camels is a picture of Priscilla Shirer. I honestly see myself going in the footsteps and direction of Priscilla Shirer. She's a Bible teacher. She's an author. She's a speaker. She has her own ministry with her and her husband. I believe it's called Going Beyond Ministries or something like that. And so everything that she does is what I see myself doing. So I put an image of her here. And then next to this is the Kukum Canopy Walk, which is in Ghana. And it's 130 feet up in the air, and it goes for a couple of miles. So I want to experience that, and take a trip in Ghana. Of course, eat their food, experience their culture, experience their language, experience all the things. And for that trip, it's about $2,500. And so next we have a picture of my dream home. This is a really big house. But also I want a really big family. But also I don't want to live in a really big house with a really big family. So I don't know. But I love the architecture of this house. I love the lighting. I love the way that the windows are. I love the front yard, like the front area. It's not too much like land. I do want a lot of land in the back, but it's not too much like in the front. It looks very clean, very posh, very, very cute. Very, very cute. And so in Texas, it's $1.3 million to buy this home in Texas. But if we're thinking about in a 5-year time frame, this is what I desire to live like in a townhome or like in a complex, which is $600,000 in Atlanta, and eventually this will turn into an investment property for me to rent out once I move. Okay, so for my risk tolerance assessment, I scored 35 points, which means that I am not afraid to take a little bit of risk, but I do not take risk unnecessarily, which means that I am a conservative risk taker. And in that conservative risk taker, it makes sense for me to do index and to go in the route of index investing, which basically allows me to diversify my portfolio with low risk, which will help reduce risk since there's so many different stocks that I will be able to invest in. And then also for conservatives, that means that I will have a steadier rate of return. Also, the next one is low fees and simple management. So for low fees and simple management, this will help me to lower the cost and preserve more. And the terminology for that is also known as capital preservation. And then the last one is to avoid, the reason why index investing is important for me being a conservative risk taker, is to avoid emotional and timely mistakes. I feel like nobody wants to have an emotional mistake. I don't have anxiety. I don't need anxiety to be risen up within myself. And so it will help me avoid like emotional and timely mistakes. And so with index investing, it would encourage discipline, it would encourage patience, and then it would encourage a long-term focus, which has been proven to produce solid performance. Yeah. Okay, so this is my payday portfolio from the stock track assignments that we have been doing over the semester. I started off trading. My first day was September 30th, and the last day that I traded was November 10th. And through this process, I started off with $10,000 as my portfolio value. And for my first report ended up being $10,484. And for my first report, I bought 6 stocks in various different companies. And I spent a total of $7,252. But in me spending $7,252 in the first report, I only gained $484 from that. So technically, I did not make a profit. I did make money, but I didn't make a profit. And so my arithmetic average was 0.8%, and my geometric average was 2.3%. And then for the last report, I ended off the stock track journey with $10,190. And to be completely honest, I was not on my A game when it came to buying and selling and looking and honestly, like, this would have been a perfect time to make mistakes. And I'm going to tie it back to being a conservative risk taker. I didn't want to continue to buy and sell stocks when I didn't know what I was doing. But to be honest, this was the perfect time to buy and sell stocks when I didn't know what I was doing. So simply make mistakes and learn from those mistakes. So my apologies to myself for not being on top of that. But in total, I bought 11 stocks and I only sold one of the companies because that company was going down really, really, really bad, and it was making me go into a bad loss. But my arithmetic average at the end for my last report was 0.42%, and my geometric average was -1%. Okay, so as far as my reflections, I really did enjoy this activity, and what I enjoyed the most was getting to dream, getting to put a dollar amount to my dreams, because it turned into going from a vision to a goal. And because I have that goal now, it's like now I know what I'm working towards. Now I know what I'm working for. Now I have a dollar amount and all of the dreams, goals, and aspirations that I have in life, not only to travel or not only to take care of individuals, but also to pour into others. I really enjoyed that about this activity, that I get to visually see, like on paper, what it looks like to have a goal and what it looks like to dream. Oh. Okay, What did I learn about myself? I learned that I'm a very simple person. I'm not interested in all like the fancy stuff. Like for myself, I learned that I love to travel. I learned that I love to empower and take care of others, those who have taken care of me, and then those who also who have not taken care of me. I just learned that I love to show love. So I learned that the money that I will make really would not even be for myself. It will be for those who are around me. About managing finances, I learned that managing finances is not a complicated thing. That it's very much doable. It's very much it's not complicated when you have the resources to know. Like when you have the knowledge, it's not complicated. Um, how could I prepare myself differently? I could prepare myself differently, honestly, by taking what I learned, or I can prepare myself differently by coming in with the mindset of what I'm learning here in this course is going to be applied to real life. I feel like as a college student, I got comfortable just learning the information and not translating it to real life activities. So I think my mindset could have came in a little bit different to take what I learned here in this course and apply it to real life. I could have prepared myself a little bit more differently by going in deeper. Um, what would Dr. Phillips need to know for next time? I honestly don't know. I don't know what she would need to know for the next time. I felt that Dr. Phillips was very encouraging during this process. I felt as though this investment process was not just about, it wasn't just about investing in stocks or investing in property or investing in whatever I want to invest in, but it's like really learning about how I want my life to be. Destiny. How do you see your life? What do you want to do? How do you want to live? How do you want to act? How do you want to do you? How do you see your life? And I feel like Dr. Phillips did an amazing job allowing me to think, meditate, and reflect upon how I desire my life to be. So yeah. And then how am I going to apply this going forward? Post graduation, I'm definitely going to keep every single thing that I learned from this course and move forward in actions, move forward in investing in myself. Really, like Dr. Phillips said something to me the other day that I'm keeping. She was like, make an appointment with yourself. So I'm definitely going to be making appointments with myself, like empowering other people, yes, but like it's also important for like self-encouragement and all the things. So I'm definitely going to be making an appointment with myself to make sure that I'm on top of things and I'm aligning, basically faith without works is dead, that I'm aligning my life like in the way that it should go. And the last thing is I'm going to continue to, pray that my life is guided by the Lord. And the scripture that I'll be praying over myself is actually Proverbs 21 verse 5. And it says, good plannings and hard work leads to prosperity, but hasty shortcuts leads to poverty. So yeah, thank you so much for listening to my presentation, and I'll see you guys soon.